We're continuing to follow a story we first broke on Friday. Idaho Peace Officer Standards and Training, or POST, canceled 3 academies scheduled for the beginning of next year. I sat down with POST Administrator Brad Johnson earlier today. He blames record inflation. In a message to Idaho law enforcement leaders last week, Johnson said they can't afford to hold 3 of their 17 academies next year. They canceled basic patrol, detention, and emergency communications academies. New officers have to go through POST or a POST-certified academy within the first year on the job. While a handful of large agencies have their own in-house academies like the Ada County Sheriff's Office, Boise Police, this hurts most Idaho agencies, which rely on POST to get new officers trained up and ready to go. Several chiefs and sheriffs told us last week they had new hires signed up, and so they're frustrated with these cancellations coming amid a law enforcement officer shortage, which we've covered here. This also comes after POST fought for the legislature to give them another $800,000 a year from the state's liquor fund on top of their $4 to $5 million yearly budget. But Johnson says the cost of running these courses is now greater than the money coming in, and they acted as quickly as they could.
That was intended to keep pace with that shortage that we'd had year after year, and it should have, except that costs have gone up ridiculously for us, and it's far more than we can afford within that revenue stream at this point. It's just a matter of us working more with the legislature and with the governor's office, and hopefully identifying the proper amount of funding that we need to meet our mission.
Johnson says they're getting the 64 impacted officers into their other academies later next year. They're going to do that as soon as possible. Post Council is also extending the deadline for officers to get certified beyond that year requirement. Johnson adds budget constraints have been an ongoing issue at Post for years. He also notes Post isn't just cutting from academies to save money. They also cut back on travel, facility improvement projects, and replacement items. And this isn't the first time Post had to cancel academies, by the way. They went through this back in 2020 because of, well, the pandemic. Johnson says they were able to work through the backlog and get everyone trained and certified.